Mm-hmm.
what your plans were.
We decided to go just as a small team, do like a mini medical mission, and then Tom and Jim decided that they could do work more of a construction thing of putting concrete floors in wooden huts, and Tom was going to do cistern work. And I went a day ahead in order to purchase medicines from Four Seasons, which in Haiti and Port-au-Prince, where I usually buy meds, and to get a little settled and organized. And then we were going to meet the next day and go on to Croix du Bouquet, which was someplace we've never been before, but has never been served. So we were excited about going there to help people who've never had help. And
sorry, I'm going to move here. I have a feeling this is running up against your shirt.
oh,
There we go.
I can't see. Okay.
Okay.
Just continue.
Yeah.
And I had gone back to the house after we did our errands, exchanging money and buying our supplies, and gone back to Martin's house, which is right in Crissois, which is every house is next to each other, as most of Haiti is, especially in a lot of the cities in Port-au-Prince. And I decided to just relax and read a book. And just as I was talking to two little Haitian girls that live in the house, and they were excited about having a visitor. And I stood up to demonstrate something on the blackboard about the goods, about their money, when it happened, and it just happened so fast. And I knew immediately it was an earthquake, because it couldn't have been anything else. And it was horrible. The sound, it would just sound like freight trains running through the whole city. And I don't remember if I just dropped to the floor, but that was gravity. I had to find some balance. And I began to pray, and I just thought I was going to die. I really didn't know how. I saw a boulder coming down, and I moved a little bit, and then Martin called me and yelled my name, Sue, Sue, and he grabbed my hand. We got out of the building, never went back into that house. They didn't want us to go back for 3 days. Usually by 3 days, I understand, the aftershocks have stopped. So we slept in the street. And we finally found a little bit of refuge under a banana tree during the day, and then we would get back out on the street after the sun went down.
How long did the earthquake last?
I don't know. Probably a minute. That was my opinion, I think. Not longer than 2 minutes. But you could just see everything falling. Everything was just falling down. It looked like the whole city looked like a huge gray cloud that collapsing. It's like a big mushroom.
And after it happened, the people that you said you were in a classroom setting?
It was just on their front porch, outdoors, but it was on the second floor of their house.
Mm-hmm. Describe the emotion or the panic or whatever right after it happened.
The horrible fear of knowing about aftershocks, dazed, just stunned, and didn't know where to go. Martin wasn't sure where his mother was, and I followed him around to the side of the house, and I asked, is your mother alive? Do you see her? Because apparently he didn't know, and he started just frantically pulling down rocks and steel part of his house, and then I saw her walk out the door, so we knew everybody got out. Everybody was okay in that family. There were 3 little girls and his sister, and himself and his mother and myself.
The images that we see on TV, were you close to kind of the epicenter?
Not too far. Actually, Carrefour is probably 2 or 3 miles away, but where I was in the terribly crowded, poor area, and all the houses, I saw one house standing, and it looked like it was fairly new and brightly, painted pink and coral. And I don't know that it was okay, but the structures of all the houses were gone. And Hospice St. Joseph, which is across the street from where I was staying, it was down. It was totaled. All the trees were uprooted and laying in the street, so there was no way that most of the streets were blocked. And it took us about 3 days to figure out if we could get out of that one little area that we were in, because he has a truck. And we finally figured out that he heard by grapevine, news spread, that we could, if we got to the Dessalines, was the only major street that wasn't damaged, that we could get there.
And you you said you slept in the street.
We did. Some people tried to get back. Nobody went into the houses for about 2 days, and then the third day, I think the fear of the aftershock was lessening, and they went in to get. I know I slept on a. Actually, they were very kind to me. They gave me a mattress, a twin bed mattress, that I shared with 2 Haitians. So it wasn't a lot, but it was a lot to me at that time, and it was the whole idea of the sharing is so prominent in that culture, and sharing their food. And we had a little piece of hard bread, and I always take a lot of peanut butter, and I had 5 jars of peanut butter, and so we opened one of those, but we had little to eat, and fortunately, that family that I was with, she has a little boutique, and she sells crackers and milk and water and just very few things, but she did have Culligan water, which for me was a blessing, so that I didn't drink the street water.
The food, did you have any problems after the earthquake finding food? It seemed...
There is nothing. The sadness of what I could see was happening, especially after I was able to see CNN on the 4th or 5th day, that food is being distributed. If you're down in the city close to this coastline, those people were going to get, but I had a great fear that where I was and where people who lived higher on the hill, and that they didn't even know, no one came around into the neighborhoods to ask if anybody was hurt or needed help or food or water. No, at that time. When I left, there still had been no sign of any authority showing up or help, any aid of any kind. And I know the people I was with were very concerned about that. And the remark was, we talked about this, one of the women, the mothers told me that, she said, we already know that they're sitting there behind closed doors counting the money and how much they're going to make out of this, and we will never see it. And she's so right. They've been through this too many times. And so I'm going to, hopefully, I'm asking for people to make donations to organizations like St. Thomas. We know 100% of that money will go to the people. 100% of it would be tax deductible. So finding the right place to send money is really important, and I've for a long time have realized that, and so I've kind of adopted a family. It's only one family. And now I want to help the family that I was with rebuild one house. And I know that the money will go directly to them. It's not going to go into corruption. And that for me right now, that's why I'm here. That is why I'm here. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, because the aid is there, the food and all of that's available. It's a real problem getting it past people, because now they've gone into the anger state. And so... looking way down the road, the whole city will probably be bulldozed and dumped into the sea. There's just nothing there, absolutely nothing.